Hi guys, and welcome to Peach United Point of View. Today's video is sponsored by Ball Tactics. Check out their website for match previews and reviews with some tongue-in-cheek humour and a great insight into the game. Check out the link in the description below for me guys. They're putting out some really great stuff. They'll start putting more stuff out again, obviously, when the season resumes for United. So today's video is just a review into how United's players who have gone to the World Cup are getting on so far. I'm just going to talk through the performances briefly and give them a rating on how I think they've performed. So first up is Harry Maguire, obviously playing for England. In the first game, England played against Iran, winning 6-2. Harry Maguire had a pretty solid game and was very unlucky not to score with his header flooding off the crossbar. But he did get an assist for Bukayo Saka. I think he had a pretty solid game overall, was defensively okay. Obviously, England letting 2 goals late on, one being a penalty and one being Iran just scoring off a bit of sloppy defending. I think Maguire played okay, to be honest, in the game, and I'm going to give him a 7. Which for you guys, obviously, you know I don't really rate Maguire that much, so that's quite a good score from me for him. Then the next player we're going to talk about is Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw had a very solid game for me, both defensively and attacking, and got a great assist for when he set up Jude Bellingham with a great cross and a lovely headed finish by Bellingham. And for me, I'm going to give Luke Shaw an 8. Thought it was, a really good performance. He's very balanced, attacking and defending. He's got a great engine up and down all the time, so he gets an 8. And then the next player is Marcus Rashford, and he came off the bench to great effect, obviously, scoring seconds after he came on with a tidy finish. Put in a decent performance and scored a good goal. And I'm going to give Rashford a 7. I think he did everything he was asked to do when he came on, scored a goal, played well, and did that from the right as well, which obviously he's not always putting in his best performances from that side, so did well to score. So next we'll move on to Tyrell Malacia, obviously playing for the Netherlands. Unfortunately, he didn't get used. He was an unused substitute off the bench. And obviously we'll be disappointed with that, and hopefully we'll want to get more playing time in the future. Next we move on to Argentina and to Lisandro Martinez, who came on with 30 minutes left in the game. Obviously Argentina were already 2-1 down against Saudi Arabia and ended up losing 2-1 in a massive upset. But I think Martinez kind of comes out of the game kind of scot-free. Came on, played well when he came on, and I think he's going to give Argentina's manager, food for thought, and hopefully he's going to start in the next game. I think they'll be much better with him in the team, as we've seen at United. The passion he has for the game and the way he performs consistently, I think he should be starting for their national team. And I think with them losing against Saudi Arabia, I think we most probably are going to see that. So next player is Christian Eriksen, obviously played for Denmark. They had a disappointing 0-0 draw against Tunisia, I believe. He put in a good shift and was unlucky not to have an assist, obviously, with Andreas Cornelius heading his Eriksen's dangerous cross onto the post. I don't know how he managed to miss with him being a yard out, but it is what it is. For Eriksen putting a tidy performance. Played a little bit deeper after one of Denmark's players got injured, went into the deeper role in midfield, then he pulled the strings, created a few chances, played well, and I'd give him a 7. And then next we move on to Tunisia. Obviously Hannibal Mejbri plays for Tunisia. He came on in the last 10 minutes of that Denmark game and put in an industrious performance full of effort and determination. Hopefully he's given the manager of Tunisia something to think about. I think he has got quality, and I think with more game time he could show that for Tunisia. I'm going to give him a 6. Don't think he had enough time to affect the game massively, but he came on, put himself about, had a lot of energy, and obviously give that Tunisia team a bit of energy and also a bit of quality. So yeah, 6. Then we move on to France. Obviously, Raphael Varane was an unused substitute for France, but it's just encouraging for me to see him on the bench. At one point, I didn't even think he'd make it to the World Cup. So I'm hoping he's just going to build up fitness now, and hopefully he'll get maybe in the next game get a game off the bench, and then the game after could possibly start. We'll have to see how he regains his fitness, but I think he could be a big player for them in the tournament. So next we move on to Uruguay. Obviously, with Facundo Palestri playing for them, he actually started for Uruguay, which was nice to see, and worked really hard on the right hand side. Put in a decent performance, but obviously the Uruguay didn't have loads of penetration, and the game finished 0-0 against South Korea, I believe it was. And he ended up being replaced with a few minutes left to go by Carlos Vela, obviously who used to play for United once upon a time. Not Carlos Vela, I can't remember his first name, but Vela used to play for United. I'm going to give Palestri a 6. I thought he tried hard, but nothing really came off for him. But hopefully he'll get to start again in the next game. I think with him not playing too much for United, he might need a couple of games to get into his full stride. And then the next team we're going to move on to, obviously with 2 United players playing for them, is Portugal. First player I'm going to talk about is Diogo Dalot. A little bit surprised that he was an unused sub in that game, and I'm hoping that he'll get more game time going through the tournament, because he's been superb for United this season, and I think he should be starting games for Portugal, so that was a bit of a surprise. Obviously Portugal ended up winning that game 3-2, but they didn't perform that well. One of the only players that I thought played really well is the next player we're going to talk about, Bruno Fernandes, who put on a great performance with plenty of energy and guile, and obviously supplied 2 assists, one for João Felix and one for Rafael Leao. I think Fernandes is the same for Portugal as he is for United. Provides a lot of energy and passion, and he's just always there to provide that killer pass, and he did so. And I'm going to give Fernandes a 9. I thought he was superb for them. And then now we're going to move on to Brazil. Obviously, we've 4 players playing for Brazil from United. The first player I'm going to talk about is Casemiro, the only United player who ended up starting that game. And he just showed how world class he is. Really steady performance in defensive midfielder. Was unlucky not to score. He had a couple of long range shots from outside the box, but one that flooded against the post. And it was an absolute thunderbolt as well, and he was really unlucky not to score. For me, I'm going to give Casemiro's performance an 8.5. I think he's exactly the same for Brazil as he is for United. Just makes their team tick, just keeps it nice and simple, uses the ball well, and gets forward as well. Creates a few scoring chances, obviously with his shooting. So really good performance on an 8.5. Fred came off the bench, got 15 minutes. Didn't really set the world alight when he came off the bench, but did what Fred does, provides a lot of energy, wins the ball back. And I don't think you can give him anything more than a 6. Obviously, I think Fred will mainly be used off the bench for Brazil, like he has been being used lately for United, mostly off the bench as last 20-30 minutes with loads of energy, comes on and either can steady the ship or can provide a bit of energy if you're looking to get a result. Really tackles well, presses well, and I think he's the type of player that's going to be used as an impact sub for Brazil. And then next player we're going to talk about is Antony. Came on for 10 minutes. Obviously, just a steady performance. Again, I think I'm just going to give Antony a 6. I thought they might have brought him on a bit earlier, because I don't think Rafinha was great for them yesterday. And for me, honestly, I think maybe Antony should be starting before Rafinha, but obviously I'm not the Brazil manager and he knows what he's doing more than me, but that's just my opinion. I think Antony could give them something different, you know, cutting inside off that right-hand side, taking shots, you know, he's got that bit of skill and a bit of thingy, but we'll have to see whether he gets used a bit more through the tournament, or maybe he's just going to be, you know, as a sub. And then obviously the last player from United who plays for Brazil, obviously he's on loan at Sevilla this season from United, is Alex Telles, and he was an unused substitute. I don't feel like Telles is going to get loads of game time for Brazil, but we might be surprised and we'll have to see. But yeah, that's all the players from United that's played in the World Cup so far. Obviously, it was a steady first game week for most of the players. Obviously, a few would have been disappointed not to get game time, but it is what it is. Obviously, the only player that did score was Marcus Rashford, and he did that coming from off the bench. But obviously, Fernandes had a great performance. Eriksen played well for Denmark. You know, there was some encouraging performances from United players. So yeah, that's the video really. Thanks for tuning in. I just want to say, obviously like the video if you can. Subscribe to the channel. Obviously, I am really trying my best to get up to 50 subscribers. I think I'm on 32 now, which obviously I'm so grateful for everyone that has subscribed and everyone that's been watching the videos, and I really appreciate it. So thanks very much. Peace, guys. Thank you.